put it together himself. Got a picture connects, never asking for someone's help or to get some respect. He's only focused on what he wrote. His will is beyond reach, and now it all unfolds. The skill of an artist. This is 20% skill, 80% fear. Be 100% clear, cause Ryu was ill. Who would have thought he'd be the one that set the West in flames? And I heard him wreck it with the crystal method, name of the game. Came back, dropped Megadeth, took him to church. I like Bleach, man. Ryu had the stupidest verse. This dude is the truth. Now
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Shell Arena at Sherwood Park Sports Center. We're here for Game 3 of the Kings Cup, or the third game for each team. This one going to be between the Canadians and the Sherwood Park Senators. Canadians picked up their first win of the tournament this morning, a 4-1 victory over the Medicine Hat Hounds. Sherwood Park coming to this game 2-0, having bested the CAC Blues, or the Bridge City Blues, and Medicine Hat. Looks like the teams are ready to go here. And so are we. Looks like we're going to lose our left camera, at least for the first intermission. But that's okay. We got the main one. We're happy to have that. So welcome to Tournament Hockey. Here we play. The Canadians are playing the host, Sherwood Park, in the Kings Cup. Sherwood Park wins the draw. Put over the near side. Duffin knocks that down at the line. Horror flips that up to the open side. Enriquez Gomez steps in. Here it comes. And caught from behind. Thorvaldson picks up the loose puck. Sends that left side to Duffett. Duffett, there's a shot. Save there by, I think it's Simon. Confirm that in a second. Another shot from the point. Right on to... Nope. It is Zadko. Check that back. Zadko in net for the Senators. Sorry. Yeah, Senators. It's a bit of a quick change. Still getting my bearings. Puck's dropped in the Sherwood Park zone. Canadians win it. Behind the net is West trying to move it. Gets it up the boards. Frostad with it. Down in front, looking for Dollywall to tip, but reading that was Zadko. Gets the stop with 14:22 left in the first period. Puck dropped in the Sherwood Park zone. Senators move that around to the near corner. Picked up Doucette. Tried to lead past that to Duff. Skips past him. Frostad picks it up, moves behind the net. That's knocked down by the Senators. Goes to the far side. Frostad's going to get that back for the Canadians. Over to Dollywall. Dollywall chips that into the neutral zone. Babiak back for the Senators. Flips that back to Perreault. Perreault puts that up the near side. It skips past his man, and Turcotte puts that up the ice back into the Senators zone. Picked up by Hawks. Hawks lead pass. Gets that up to Babiak. Centering pass. Knocked away by Eagle. Senators have that near side in Canadian zone. Low shot onto Black. And Black is going to cover this one with 13:31 left in the first period. Puck's dropped in the Canadian zone. Senators win it. There's a shot from the point, knocked down by Black. Ulrich moves that to the far side. Battling out is Burnett. Puck in the Senators zone. Now it comes out to the neutral zone. Eagle picks it up. Over to Ulrich. Ulrich Gets that up to Schufelt. That's knocked down. Cotis puts that up on the backside of number 16, Rochelle. Puck goes into the Canadian zone. Black's going to come out and cover it up. 13:02 left in the first period. We'll have the draw far side in the Canadian zone. Sherwood Park chops that puck into the near corner. Morris for the Canadian, grabs it, sends it far side for Duffett. Duffett up the boards. That's knocked down by Sherwood Park in the zone. Coming back for it is Connor Young, I think. And then over to Quatch. I'm going to double check that break here. I think it is Young. Battle for it in the near corner. Puck still in the Sherwood Park corner. Team's battling for it. Comes loose, but out in front. That's cleared away by the Senators. Far side. Here's Duffett. Puts that back into the corner. Senators picking that up. Here they come around the far side. That's going to come out to the neutral zone. Morris over to play it. And Shiguro able to get a stick on that, knocking into the Canadian zone. Morris back to play it. Coming up the near side. Battles through, gets the puck up to Ricky Gomez, who hands it off to Hoare. Hoare coming up the left wing. In front, looking for Thorvaldsen, and Thorvaldsen will pick it off Zadko's pad and put it into the back of the net. The Canadians open up scoring with 11:52 left in the first period. They are up 1-0 on the Senators. I think we have time. We can... Jump to the replay. Comes in. Oh, I only get the tail end celebration. Apologize for that, folks. Face off won by the Canadians. Thorvaldsen taking it right back into the zone. Senators stop him in his tracks. Shot from the point by Turcotte. That's stopped by Zadko. We get a whistle with 11:41 left in the first period. Face-off won by the Canadians. Ricky Gomez slides that down low. Skips past Thorvaldsen. Hoare keeps it in, though. Thorvaldsen up the boards to Turcotte. Turcotte cycles. There's a slap shot right onto Zadko, and he's going to make that save. And we'll get a stop here with 11:27 left in the first period. Let's just see. Okay, that's that. And that's that. Okay. Looks like I got to fix a hot key. Sherwood Park wins the draw in their own zone. Moving up the ice is Perot. He wheels it to the far side. West takes the puck away from him, and Eagle ends up with the loose one, takes it into the corner. Eagle's going to end up in the box after the Sherwood Park player has his skates taken away from him. Eagle doesn't like the call. See if we can see it on the far side as Eagle takes it into the boards. And the Sherwood Park player has the skates taken out from him. This will put the Senators on the power play with 11:11 left in the first period. They win it in the offensive zone. Here's Martin at the point, hanging on to the puck right side for Shiguro. Shiguro back to Martin. Martin circles over to the middle. There's a shot wide. Renette couldn't escape it, and a quick one on to Black. Black makes the save there. Hangs on with 10:56 left in the first period. Draw will be far side in the Canadian zone. 1:45 left in the Senators' power play. Comes back to the point for the Senators. Martin with it. Cycles over to the right side. Down to Shiguro. Shiguro takes below the goal line. Goes behind the net. Cycles to the far side. Sent to number 14, Coots. Coots walks it in. There's a shot blocked in front. Comes into the slot. Still battling for it. Down low. Black makes the save. Puck put to the far side. Coots picks it up for the Senators. Tried to go across the grain. Read by Turcotte. Put up, and it's going to roll into the neutral zone. Martin gets that over to Duff. Duff Gives it back to Martin. Martin near side. Signals crossed. Waiting for it was Turcotte. And Turcotte's going to put that into the Senators' zone. 1 minute to go in the power play. Turnover in the zone. Here's West. West has the puck chopped off his stick. Senators get it back. Starting behind his own net. Looks like number 17, Chambers, going to walk that up the left side into the Canadian zone. Coming with speed. He cycles behind the net. Coming over to the near side. Thrown down low. Black kicks that away. West with it. Hangs on to it instead of clearing it. Knocked down at the line. 30 seconds to go in the power play. Puck put to the near side. Turcotte can't get it out. Babiak knocks it down. Back to the point for Doucette. Up high for number 7, Perreault, over to Doucette. Sends that into the slot. That's chipped over to the near ice. Hand pass called here. And the face-off will come into the neutral zone. 9:19 left in the first period. Senators, 8 more seconds left in their power play. The Canadians are up 1-0 early in the first period. Pucks drop. Senators winner is Shiguro. Goes to the far side to Bossy. Puts that into the Canadian zone, but Rostad puts that down the ice. That's it for the Senators power play. Canadians able to peel it off, and they get the puck in the Senators zone. Richard throws that into the corner. Senators number 5, Martin, tries to move it. Comes out in front. Richard with a shot. Quick turnover there. There's another one from Frostad. And the save made by Zadko will get a stop in play with 8 pucks running. They stop it at 8:41. I'd say about 4 seconds came off. That's an easy fix. Face off far side. Shot from the point as the Canadians won the draw. Shot from Duffett comes over to the near corner. Senators get it back. Coming up the far side. Chipped off the boards. It's down the ice. Hustle on. Number 6, low shot. Black with the save. Followed up by number 10. That was blocked in front. And then finally they get another one right on. And Black able to cover that up. Taking that off the chest with 8:23 left in the first period. Draw will be near side in the Canadian zone. Senators win it. Back at the point for number 9. Moves that into the corner, throws that in front. Low shot, Black with the save, still in front. Black with another save, rebound goes to the far corner. Sent up. Dollywall takes that, gets it out to the neutral zone. West follows that up. Senators take it away, get into the Canadian zone. Then it's chopped right back out. Pass up to West. Senators get that in their own zone. Perreault with it. Near side to the defenseman. Now up to 12. Oliver up to Bridges. Bridges loses the puck in the Canadian zone. Eagle with it after it was taken away from Ulrich. Eagle going up the far side. He finds space. He's going to wheel it up the zone. Here he comes. Tries to drive it to the right. Chop back to Schufelt. Schufelt puts the backhand wide. On the far side, Taylor picks up the puck. It's stripped from him and put out to the neutral zone. Rolls to the Canadian side. Turcotte with it. Over to Eagle on the near side. Quickly up to Schufelt. Schufelt receives that. And it's tipped into the Sherwood Park zone. Puck comes out to center. Frostad waits for it. Dumps it in the far corner. Martin gets that for the Senators. Sends that to the far side. Frostad steals the back, puts it over to the near boards, and it rolls into the Sherwood Park zone. Chambers up to Perrin. Thorvaldson finds the loose puck, starts heading into the Senators zone. Couldn't get around Martin. Chambers turns it over. Enriquez Gomez follows that up. Right side for Horde. Right on does that go. Makes the save. Taking that puck right in the crest and hanging on with 6:36 left in the first period. Puck's dropped in the Senators' zone. Canadians with the puck. Wanted to feed it back to the point. It's going to end up back in the Canadian zone. Black sets that up for Morris behind the net for Duffett. Duffett picking it up. He's going to get that off the boards and out to the neutral zone where Duff picks it up for the Senators. Dumps that back in the Canadian zone. Duffett picks that up. Duffett near side for Morris. Morris to Hoare. Chips that up to Thorvaldson. Over to Enrique Gomez. Enrique Gomez tried to slide that back to Thorvaldson, but Duff, 6, Dossett on the back check breaks that up. Senators with the puck in their own zone. McLean puts that up the near side. Look for Babiak. Couldn't reach it. And icing called here with 5:48 left in the first period. Face off will be near side in the Senator zone. Canadians win it. Ulrich rims that around the boards to the far side. Coots tries to exit. Richard knocks that down in the zone. Comes back to Quach, who puts that on to net. And Zadko making the save there with 5:33 left in the first period. Face off far side in the Senator zone. Comes up the boards. Richard has it for the Canadians. Leaves that for Quach. Handed off to Young in the corner for Richard. He put that in front and it's tipped over to the near boards. Senators move that out to the neutral zone. Arm of the ref is up. We have a head contact penalty. Into the box will be number 15, Richard, for the Canadians. And Sherwood Park will be on another power play. 5:06 to go in the first period. Senators win the puck in the offensive zone. Put over to the near side. Over to Perot, sitting center point. Now to Babiak coming out on the right side. That shot blocked by Turcotte, and it ends up getting stuck in the roof panel, I think. So we've got to get a puck from the scorer's bench. 4:54 to go in the first period. Face off near side Canadian zone. Senators win that. At the right point is Perot. Moves that down to Babiak. Babiak on net. Followed up. Black comes out and makes the blocker save. Puck goes behind the goal line to the far side. Chambers with it. Back to the point to Perot. Right side for Perrin. Perrin looking 5-hole. Black makes the save there. And Zahara puts that down the ice. 1:15 left in the Senators' power plays. They set up behind their own net. Perot. Lead pass to Babiak. That was intercepted by Burnett. He gets that off to Taylor. Taylor puts that in the zone, chases it up. Puck swept over to the near boards. Babiak comes back for it. He's going to wheel it across center. Coming over to the near side in the Canadian zone. Dumps that. Goes to Chase. Picks it up behind the net. Put to the far side. Now it's put back to the point. Handled by Martin. Martin. Far side for Chambers. Back to Martin. Martin. Right side for Perot. So Perrin. Perrin. There's a shot. Black makes. Nope, that was blocked in front. Doesn't make it to the net. Martin keeps that in the zone. Intercepted by Morris. Morris starts behind his own net. Flips it behind for Duffett. Duffett has it go through his skates. Now he puts it up the near boards. That's knocked down by Chambers. Chambers cycles in the zone. Right side to Coots. Coots steps in the slot. Now puts it back to Martin. There's a shot right side. Chambers and Black with the save. Canadians clear the puck with 5 seconds to go in the Senators' power play. Canadians get their man back on the ice. Turnover in the Senators' zone. Here's West. Goes to the right side. Low shot. That go with the save. Kicked right into the slot. Handling, or unable to get to it, was Dollywall. Kept in the zone by Ulrich. He's going to flip that towards net. And Zadko with the save here with 2:50 to go in the first period. Face-off will be near side in the Senators zone. It's dropped. Senators with the puck. Put to the far side. Turned over in the neutral zone. Eagle with it. Over to Ulrich. Ulrich. His pass knocked down. Eagle comes over for it. Moves it up the near side to Dollywall. Dollywall up to Zahara, who puts it deep into the Senators zone. 2:30 to go in the period. Put out to the neutral zone. It's going to skip past Turcotte. Turcotte picking it up. Behind his own net. Far side for Frostad. Up the boards to West. Centering pass for Zahara. Zahara up to Dollywall. Back to Zahara. Zahara back in, and it's just off the side of the net. Thrown off the backside. He wanted to center that. Dollywall picks it up to the point to Turcotte. Right side for Frostad. Frostad flips that into traffic. It bounces over to the far corner. Swept to the near side by the Senators. Senators Bridges heads back for it. Here he comes up the ice. Taking the left side. Center that. Black. Read it. Puts the stick on it and then covers it promptly with 1:42 left in the first period. Faceoff will be far side in the Canadian zone. It's put off the glass. Senators keep it in. Followed up by Thorvaldson, who gets that out to the neutral zone. Able to move it over the near side. Senators catch up to it. Turcotte follows it up. Puts that deep into the Sherwood Park side. Martin throws that far side. Turned over in the zone. Here's Hoare. Turns. Fired. That hit Martin. Thorvaldson picks up the rebound. Back to the right point to Frostad. Left side for Turcotte. Thrown down low. Chipped wide. Thorvaldson chips it below the net. Sherwood Park gets it back. Here come the Senators out of their own zone. Martin on the right side. Puts that deep into the Canadian zone. Black reads that off the wall. Covers it up with 1:01 left in the first period. Draw will be near side in the Canadian zone. Babiak set to take the draw against Richard. Babiak wins that for the Senators. Chome with a shot. That's knocked down in front by Duffett. Morris picks up the loose puck, tries to cycle it to the far side. He's caught, keeps possession though. Gets some help from Richard. Still against the boards. Richard throws that towards Duffett. And Young up to Quach. Quach hustling to the right side. Tried to make the inside move. Puck gets in front of him. Taken away by Perreault. Comes loose. Back to the point. Duffett keeps that in. And quickly picked up by Babiak. Back to the point. Duffett keeps that in. Directs it towards net. Tipped over to the near side. Perreault gets that again. Throws that off the wall all the way down the ice. And with 15 seconds to go in the period, the Canadians will have an offensive zone face-off after the Sherwood Park icing. Or after Sherwood Park ices the puck. Yeah, I like that better. That sounds better. Face-off far side. Won by the Canadians. Here's Morris. Waits for traffic again. Front fires it towards the net, but it hits a man. Gets knocked down in the slot, and Senators get that out to the neutral zone. Shot from Morris just on the good side of center. Goes off the side of the net. And then the Senators slow play for the buzzer, which goes, and the Canadians take a 1-0 lead into the mini break. I'm going to jump over and fix that left camera. I'll be right back, folks. Puck in the Sherwood Park zone. Pinned against the far boards. Comes loose, put behind the net. Here comes Rochelle into the Canadian zone. Puck chopped off his stick. He gets it back though. Centering pass knocked down by Hupelt. Outlet to West. West on the right side. Puck knocked away by Perreault. Schufelt behind the net though. Trying to move it to West. That was blocked. Near side. Perreault reverses it behind the net to 8. Bossy. Bossy near side for Perrin. Put down the near side. Eagle picks it up for the Canadians. Eagle in his own zone. Puts that behind the net. Frostad follows it up. Chips it on the far side. Dollywall picks it up. Frostad down the ice getting that to Zahara. Zahara looking for West. That was blocked by Perreault. Dollywall comes in to help. Comes loose for Zahara. Into Frostad. Frostad with a shot. And Zadko comes out to challenge and gets the better of that. Great save by the Sherwood Park Senators goalie as Frosty was sitting in front looking for that open space. 18:09 left in the second period. We'll have the face-off far side in the Senators zone. Senators win it in the defensive zone. They put it around the boards to the near side. Frostad cuts off the exit. Followed up by Perrin, who takes that away for the Senators. Puts that in the skates of West. West using those old defensive skills to hold up the Senators player, putting them offside, and that's the call with 17:55 left in the second period. Face-off will be near side. Chambers against Thorvaldson. Chambers wins it, gets it to Perreault. Perreault off the glass, takes a funny bounce, covered by Turcotte. Put up the near side. Battles for it in the Canadian zone. Set loose by Thorvaldson over to Frostad. Left side for Hoare. Hoare in front, puts that off the side of the net. Back to the point. Shot by Eagle. Zadko with the save there. 17:32 left in the second period. Face-off far side in the Senators zone. Canadians win it. There's a sharp angle shot by Thorvaldson. Zadko got a piece of that. Frostad, low shot. Zadko, another save. Bridges couldn't control the puck. Swept in by Thorvaldson. Put down low. Hoare receives a check but kicks it to the open side. Beat there by Martin. Throws it up the boards. Comes out to the neutral zone. Turcotte turns that around. Puck comes into the Canadian zone. Black sets that up. Far side for Duffett. Up to Turcotte. Gets it to Hoare. Over to Thorvaldson. Thorvaldson throws that to the open side. It's going to be picked up by Chome of the Senators. He gets that off to Martin. Martin, stretch pass looking for Oliver. He chips that into the Canadian zone. Duffett puts that back out. And it looks like the Senators cut offside here with 16:44 left in the second period. Face-off will be near side. Quach taking it for the Canadians. It was won by the Senators, who dumped that in the Canadian zone. Morris behind his own net. Has trouble handling it. Senators are going to get this back. Quach actually intercepts that on the near side. That's boarding. That's any day. That was rough. Yeah, both officials caught that. I think that's worth another look here. I don't know if I can jump it up. Nope, this is as close as we get. But as the puck comes back to the left boards there, gets lined up, just smoked. Gotta respect the numbers. So, another look at it here. And to me, he glided into him. It wasn't egregious, but certainly worth time in the sin bin. see what the refs say here. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Sorry, folks. Pardon me. Oh, they are going to give him the game. Hit from behind. So we will not see any more of number 21 for this game. And looks like they're going to put 2 minutes on the clock and game ejection. So the call's made with 16:28 left in the second period. Canadians on the power play for 2 minutes. Face off in the Senator zone, but the Canadians win. Frostad over to Hoare, back to Frostad. There's a shot that is tipped just wide. Hoare picks up the rebound. Hoare sends that into the corner. Senators jump on that. Comes loose for the Canadians. Back to the point. Here's Frostad. Back to Hoare. Hoare hands it. There's a shot. Blocker saves Zadko. And the Senators get to it and send it down the ice. Black well out of his net to set that up for Frostad. 1:27 left in the power play. Outlets to Hoare. Hoare cross ice looking for Thorvaldson. Skips back into the Canadian zone. Frostad with it. Sweeps it around the boards behind the net to Hoare. Hoare is going to return the favor and get it back to Frostad. Frostad up to Hoare. Hoare to Thorvaldson. Thorvaldson waiting for the outlet pass. 1 minute to go in the power play. Thorvaldson, low shot. Bounces Frostad at the point. Frostad moves that down the boards. Zahara picks it up for Dollywall. Dollywall back to Zahara. It skips past him. Frostad is going to get that. Fired in traffic. He gets the puck back. Far side. Want to get to the horn. Backhand shot. Dollywall, and it's going to bounce in. Another look at it. Dollywall, backhand shot. Zadko was expecting the cross ice pass. Cheated. Went to the far side, and as it bounced off a player towards Dollywall, he just, without even looking, puts it on net on the back end, and it ends up a power play goal for the Canadians with 15:06 left in the second period. 2-0 Canadians. Ready to go at center. Senators win it. Bossy puts up in the near side. Richard cuts that off. Put back into the Canadian zone, and Ulrich puts that in the Senators zone. Senators coming up the near side. Perrin tips that into the Canadian zone. Chambers and Eagle battle for it. Eagle gets the best, gets it over to Ulrich. Ulrich takes that against the boards. Senators have a jump in their step now. Here they come. They're going to draw a penalty here as the Canadians touch up the puck. The whistle goes. A tripping call made, and the Sinden will open for, looks like Ulrich, which puts the Sherwood Park Senators on the power play with 14:39 left in the second period. Canadians able to score on their power play. Sherwood Park looking to do the same. Martin with the puck after Sherwood Park won the draw. Martin, right side. I believe that's Shigiro. Over to Martin. Martin over to Coots. Back to Shigiro. There's a shot that hit a player, and it comes off the end boards over the near side. Coots, far side to Shigiro. Put it back to Martin, and Martin was surprised by that. The puck ends up in the Senators zone. Senators send that to the far side, looking for Shigiro. He missed that. Morris gets a hold of it. Dumps it back to the Senators' side. Picked up by Martin. Martin moves it up to Duff. Duff coming in the left wing. Takes that into the corner. Now up the boards. Still handling it. Duff dancing in. Drops it back for Coots. Right side for Martin. Over to Shigiro. Shigiro hangs on to that. Takes that into the corner. Puts it up the boards to Martin. Martin back to Shigiro. Shigiro trying to make it in. And Zahara making that difficult. Puck goes loose behind the net, and then it's picked up by number 14, Coots. Coots coming up high. To the left side, there's a shot in traffic. Knocked down by Duffett. And sent down the ice. Senators, 40 seconds left in their power play. Puck moved up to Coots. Over to the far side to Chambers. He resets in the zone. Chambers coming the near side. Gets into the Canadian zone. Puts that behind the net. Perrin picks that up on the far side. Perrin. Left side. Chambers. Shot over the net. It's going to roll out to the neutral zone. Perrin picks it back up. Perrin moves that up the middle. Richard read that and slaps the puck back to the Senators zone. Senators unable to score on the power play as the Canadiens player jumps back on the ice. Stopped at the blue line. Perreault has to come back for it. Perreault for the Senators, setting up behind his own net. Pestered by Schufelt. He has to dish it off to Chambers. Chambers resets behind the net. Chambers puts that up the near side. Frostad got a piece of it, but it does make it to Babiak. He dumps that into the far corner of the Canadian zone, picked up by Turcotte. He gets that to Frostad, up to Hoare. Hoare flips that down the ice, over to Enriquez Gomez. Enriquez Gomez comes into the zone, has some help, over to Frostad, left for Hoare. Oh, and the shot just put over the net. Good setup by the Canadians. Man, this team plays unselfish. I love it. Thorvaldson puts that back to the point. Turcotte. He's going to take a shot. Hit a man in front. Zadko got a piece of that, and it bounces over the crossbar. Hoare with it. Stepping back to the point. Turcotte rips another one. Tipped in front. And the Senators are going to get that out to the neutral zone. Knocked down by Eagle. Beat there by Oliver. Oliver coming in. Black with the save. And the effect couldn't get to it. Does take a shot. Black knocks it down. Canadians get that out to the neutral zone. Received by Martin. And the whistle goes into the box. Looks like Treasure for 2 minutes slashing. So the Senators, after a great breakout there, maybe a little frustration slash as the play was coming back to the neutral zone. Canadians on the power play with 11:25 left in the second period. Draw one by the Canadians. Richard, he puts that back to the point to Morris. Morris hanging on to it. Far side for Eagle. Eagle walking it down. Low shot. That hit somebody in front. He picks it up in the corner. Eagle to Morris. Morris hangs on to it. He's going to send that. Puts that on net in front. Enriquez Gomez trying to put the screen on, but Zadko able to look around it and gets the stop with 11:05 left in the second period. The faceoff will be near side in the Senators zone. Canadians with 1:41 left in their power play. As Richard lines up against Rochelle. Rochelle wins that. Martin moves it around to the far side for the Senators. Kept in by Eagle. He sends that down low. It's going to roll into the near corner. Richard picks it up, gets it over to Enriquez Gomez. Loose for Richard. Richard with it. Stuck in front. And that is tipped out. Zadko just got enough of that. And it's cleared to the blue line, but not out. Martin picks up the loose puck for the Senators. Held in by Morris. Morris jams it past La Rochelle over to Enriquez Gomez. Centers that looking for Richard in front, but the Senators get that out to the neutral zone. Morris with it. Morris taking that into the near boards. Now he moves it up the ice. Hustling on is Dollywall. Dollywall with speed. Crosses over to the left. Puck chopped off his stick, but he goes back to get it. Waits for his team to make the change. And it's put up the far side. La Rochelle put it on the Jets. Frostad has to come in. La Rochelle on the far side. Blocker saved by Black. Put up the near boards. Thorvaldson picks it up. Near side for Frostad. Frostad up to Dollywall. Dollywall steps in. Comes up the right side. Wanted to put it back to Hoare, but that was well read by Chambers. And the Senators put it down the ice. Here's Black with it. He's going to hang on to it. Now a stretch pass. Gets that to Dollywall. Dollywall in the zone. And that was read by Chome, who puts that down the ice. Canadians, 10 seconds left in their power play. Hoare wanted to get that to Zahara. That was missed. And that's going to be an icing call with 9:29 left in the second period. 4 seconds left in the Canadians' power play. Draw will be far side in the Canadian zone. Canadians win the draw. Senators' penalty has expired. Morris up the far side looking for Shufelt. That's chipped into the zone. On the near side, Taylor picks it up for the Canadians. Still battling against the board. Senators pick it up. Here's Chambers up the left side. Duffett stops that in the tracks. But Perreault gets a piece of it, throws to the open side. Chambers jumps inside the Canadian zone. Morris up the boards. Knocked down by Finley. Senators lose the puck to Shufelt. Shufelt puts that up the far side. Coming back for his Chome. Puck rolls into the Canadian zone where Morris picks it up. Knocked down at center. Duffett with it. Coming up the left wing. He puts that on net. Zadko is going to cover that up with 8:33 left in the second period. Face off near side in the Senators zone. Watch, ready to take the draw. Gets it back to Eagle. Eagle fires that. Zadko with a great save. Able to catch that through traffic. Face off, right back on the near side in the Senators zone this time. The Senators, Babiak wins that. Number 9 puts it around the board to the far side. That's cut off by Young. And I can't confirm it's Young. Not yet, at least. I'll have to ask Scott at the break. Here come the Senators. Out to center. Duff with it. Moves it back to a moving Hawks. Hawks takes that in the left side. All right. Maybe that's not Hawks because it's not on his jersey. But wearing the number 9 for the Senators comes in. And it's going to be called offside, I think. With 8:02 left in the second period. Face off near side in the Canadian zone. Canadians put it off the glass. That's gonna... They got one in the box? Canadians got one in the box. That's why it's not ice. That was the problem. Coots. Outlet past Duff. Gets it back to Coots. Coots coming in the left side. Taylor puts him into the boards. Loose behind the net. Eagle gets a hold of it. He puts that down the ice. Martin back to set it up for the Senators. Coots on the near side. Coots hanging on to it. Centering pass. Broken up by the Canadians. It's chipped down the ice. Here's West on the right side. West heading towards the net. Lost control of the puck, and Martin sweeps that back to the near side. Duff picks it up. Stolen by the Canadians. Zahara. Oda. Oops. Oh, there's a shot, and Zahara couldn't get it past Zadko. What a great setup between West and Zahara. Almost ends up in the back of the net. But the Senators goalie comes through for his team, bailing them out shorthanded. Sorry, yeah, on the power play. Senators on the power play, 1 minute left in that. Perrin with it, behind his own net. Feeds it to the far side to Perreault. Back to Perreault, on the near side. Takes that into the zone. Moves that back to Perrin. At the line, Babiak keeps that in, floats that into the near corner. Frostad goes in, seals it against the boards. Takes a heavy hit from, I think, LaRochelle. Nope, though sat. Puck comes back to the blue line, stays in just by an inch. Chambers with it behind the net, over to Dossett. Over, up the boards to Perrin. Perrin walks it into the slot, couldn't get the shot off. West pokes it away, but not out. Kept in by Chambers. On the near side. Or number 9. Oh, that was Babiak, sorry. Senators have that. Here's Perrin. Takes the shot. Black with the save. And the Canadians will sweep that down the ice, and that's going to do it for the Senators' power play. Perreault with it. He's going to wheel it from behind his net. Throws that up the middle to Doucette. Set on the right side. Black with the save. Bad move there by maybe the Canadians D. Oh, we're going to lose this one. Look at that. We lost that left camera again. Unfortunate. Play resumes here with 5:47 to go in the second period. Senators keep the puck in the Canadian zone. There's a shot from the point, tipped away in front. Duffett moves that to the far boards after blocking the shot. Treasure tries to move it off. That's not Treasure. That is Bossy. No, it is Treasure. Treasure on the near side. Back to the point. Number 9 takes a shot. Black able to see that. And we'll have a face-off in the Canadian zone with 5:24 left in the second period. Canadians win the draw in their own zone. Morris with the puck. He's going to flip that gently and let it roll down the ice. Late in the second period, it's going to die before icing can be called. Richard with it on the near side. Hanging on to it. Feeds that down low. Looking for Quach to catch up to. 9 gets there first for Sherwood Park. Starts wheeling out the far side. Left side to Oliver. Oliver couldn't get it clean. Takes it into the near side. Duffett steals the centering pass. Gets the puck up to Schufelt. Schufelt coming in the right wing. Has Young in front. Sweeps it over, and that's knocked down by Martin. Oliver with the loose puck takes that into the near corner. And Schufelt puts them against the boards. Taylor comes in to help. Comes loose. Bernard with a shot. Zadko with the save. Oliver finds it for Sherwood Park. Over to Martin. Martin starts wheeling up the ice. Outlet far side for Treasure. Left side for La Rochelle. La Rochelle coming into the Canadian zone. Takes it into the near corner. Shadowed by Eagle. Burnett able to get the... Taylor gets the puck out to the neutral zone. Eagles pass to Taylor. Comes off the boards. Perreault chips it. Bossy is able to get that for Sherwood Park. Flipped up to Chambers. Comes out to center, looking for Perrin. He gets that back to Perreault. Perreault loses it in the neutral zone. Eagle tries to move it up, but it's held in by Sherwood Park. Here comes Finley. Drop pass back to Perreault. Directed towards the net, but that's blocked by Eagle. Eagle picks it up, puts it off the glass, and it's going to go all the way down the ice. And icing called there with 3:42 left in the second period. So a period and a half, or almost 2 periods of snow almost stopped that icing call, or the puck going not all the way, but it does just make it over the line, so we'll have a face-off near side in the Canadian zone. Senators win the draw. There's a shot by McLean that whistles just wide. Picked up by Enriquez Gomez. Can't get the pass over to Horror. Turcotte finds the puck in the Canadian zone. Turcotte cycles over to the far corner. Rubbed off the puck. Thorvaldson comes to help out. Frostad moves it around the near side. Enriquez Gomez gets it around McLean out to the neutral zone where Martin was waiting for it. Martin near side. Puts that into the Canadian zone. Frostad puts it right back up the ice. Here's Horror coming up the left side into the Senator zone. There's a high shot. Zadko with the save. And followed up by Enriquez Gomez trying to head towards the net. And they're going to battle for it down low. Now the the tempers start flaring. As Enriquez Gomez gets into it with McLean. Waiting for the officials. I don't think anything's going to come after that skirmish, except for a offensive zone draw for the Canadians. 3:04 to go in the second period. Canadians are up 2-0 on the Sherwood Park Senators. Senators win the draw in their own zone. Perreault puts that to the far side. West cuts that off. Puts against the boards. Looking for help from Dollywall. Comes over to Dollywall. Dollywall cycles over to the near side. Puts that back to the far corner for West. West with it. Leaves that in the corner for Zahara to come help out. Chome grabbed it and put it to the open side where Perreault gets that. He moves that up to Babiak. Babiak off the glass up to Shapiro. Shigeru, sorry. And Perot's shot knocked high into the air, knocked down by Turcotte. Battle for it in the near corner, put up the near boards. Senators get it back. There's the shot. Black with the save. And we get a stop here with 2:21 left in the second period. Face-off will be near side in the Canadian zone. Puck's dropped. Sherwood Park wins it. Perot floats that above the crossbar. Kept on the far side. Jammed out in front comes the slot. Now it's swept over to the far boards. Picked up by number 14, Coots. Coots turns, fires it towards the net. That goes wide over to the near side. Number 9 in there battling. Oh, no, wait, that's Babiak in there battling for the Senators. Puts it around the boards to the far side where Duffett gets that. He puts that off the glass. Out to the neutral zone. Delayed offside indicated. Gave us time for Morris to get back and retrieve the puck. Here he comes up the middle. Dumped into the zone where Chome knocks it down. Quickly over to La Rochelle. La Rochelle coming up the left side. Low shot. Black with the save. And we get a stop and play with 1:32 left in the second period. La Rochelle with a good look coming down the left wing. Wants to go far side. Low glove. But Black ready for it. Snags it out of the air and gets the whistle. Face off near side in the Canadian zone. Canadians win that. Eagle loses in the feet, takes it in the corner, puts it up the boards for Burnett. Burnett with it. Hangs on to it. He's taking a look. He's going to take that into the zone, put that down low. Number 9 cuts that off for the Senators. Up to Duff. Duff puts that off the glass, and it may have hit the netting, and it did. So we're going to have a face-off in the Senators zone with 1:15 to go in the second period. Senators win the draw. Bossy puts that up the near boards for Duff. Duff just floats that in the neutral zone where Ulrich knocks it down. Ulrich puts that off the boards. Number 9 grabs that for the Senators, starts wheeling it up the ice, coming over to the left side. Walking it in. Low shot, Black with the save. Senators with it again, into the slot. That is broken up by Schufelt, well read by him. Gets that out to the neutral zone. Knocked down by Bossy and put back into the Canadian zone. Eagle back to play it. Eagle with it. Drops that back for Ulrich. Ulrich puts that up the near side, gets it to Quach. Quach has it bounce in front of him where Bossy takes it away. Quach not giving up on the play, loosens up. Ulrich with the loose puck, gets that up to Schufelt. Schufelt going up the left wing. Quach heading towards the net. Schufelt with the puck, there's the shot, wide in the mark. It's going to roll over to the near boards and chipped out the center by Bossy. Canadians Frostad puts that deep into the Sherwood Park zone. And with 5 seconds to go, not much going to happen here. Treasure picks up the puck and the buzzer goes. And the Canadians average a goal a period and head into the dressing room with a 2-0 lead in the second intermission. Good job by the Canadians controlling play for the most part. Good team game. Like I said before, very unselfish play. These players just setting each other up. It's about the team goals. We'll get a word from our sponsors here, folks, and give you a break from my voice. Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Shell Center. We're ready to go on the third period. Canadians are up 2-0 on the Sherwood Park Senators as we get that third period here. This is the third game for each team of the Sherwood Park Cup. Puck goes into the Senators zone. Kings Cup is the name of the tournament. Sorry. Shot from Turcotte from the left point, right on to net. Are you kidding me? I thought I checked that camera. I don't know why it keeps dying on us. Huh. Oh well, it is what it is. Go quick shot off the draw, and Zadko had to be quick with that one. Makes the save though with 19:45 to go in the third period. Face off, won by the Senators. They get that out to the neutral zone where Turcotte knocks it down, moves it over to Frostad. Frostad back to Turcotte. Turcotte tried to move that around the ice. That's knocked down by Chambers. Chambers was not the next one to touch it. His teammate Treasure was, so this is called a hand pass. And we'll move the face off onto the other side of the neutral zone. 19:33 to go in the first period. Senators win it. Put it at the far side. Canadians stop that. Frostad puts that back into the zone. Oops, so many things going wrong at the same time. There we go. Senators breaking out of their own zone. Over to the near side. Here comes number 12. Oliver gets that in the Canadian zone. Cycles behind the net. Throws that in front. That's going to be taken away by Dollywall. Dollywall lost the handle. Throws it off the glass. Up for grabs to the neutral zone. Knocked down by the Senators. Comes on the near side. Treasure keeps that, or puts it back in the zone. Frostad puts that off the glass, and it rebounds into the support, the roof support, and out of play. Face off, near side in the Canadian zone with 18:44 to go in the third period. Yes, we're in the third. Canadians come away with the puck. Duff it, far side for Taylor. Sorry, Burnett, who puts that up the boards. Puck back in the Canadian zone. Put to the outside to Duff it. Morris gets that out to the neutral zone. Senators chop that out of play. Kind of comes off Schufelt and goes out of play, and we'll have a face-off in the neutral zone just outside of the Canadian side. Taylor wins the draw for his team over to Morris. Morris up to Schufelt. Chips that down. That's going to be intercepted by number 9. Number 9. Don't have the name for him. Went to the far side and offside called here. Play stops 18-19 left in the third period. Canadians win the draw. Morris comes over to the near side, dumps that into the zone. Canadians starting their own side, put up the near side. Ooh, that was dangerous in front. Near side by Taylor. Turned around, Sherwood Park turns that around. Kept in the line on the far side. Morris takes that into the corner. Throwing it up the middle. Number 9 couldn't contain it. Schufelt sweeps it off his stick, picked up by Perrin. Perrin pulls that up high, down low. That hit a person in front, I think Morris. Schufelt gets the puck up the ice to Burnett. And that's swept down clear in the zone. Picked up by number 9. Wanted to go to Babiak. That's picked up by Ulrich of the Canadians instead and fed back to the Senators zone. Number 9 picks it up, stolen by Richard. In front, whipped on by Wells. And the Senators are going to put that all the way down the ice where Eagle picks it up. Cycles over to the near side. Pops out in front. Ulrich gets that to the neutral zone, knocked down by Martin. Martin goes to the far side to Bossy. Lead pass broken up by the Canadians. Ulrich moves that around in the near side. Richard in there. Now it comes over to Wells. Wells back to Richard. Richard is going to break out of the zone, get across center, and dump that into the far corner. Wells goes to chase. Quach almost intercepted that, but Martin able to shake him off and gets the puck out to the neutral, and the Senators get the puck out to the neutral zone. Thrown from center right on to Black. Black's going to cover this one up. Let the Canadians finish their line change. 16-17 left in the third period. We'll have the face-off far side in the Canadian zone. Senators win the draw. It's on the far boards. Fed to the near side. Canadians get it back. McLean knocks it down. Thrown towards the net. Black going to cover this one up. We'll reset on the near side in the Canadian zone. Senators win the face-off. Here's McLean. There's a shot tipped on net. Black with the save. Cleared away by the Canadians. Rostad, far side for Enriquez Gomez. He battles that into the neutral zone, but taken away by Perreault. Moves that over to McLean. Puts that up, and the Canadians turn that back up the ice. Here's swept over from Enriquez Gomez to Horror. Is going to be called on the hand path. Whistle goes with 15:43 left in the third period. With the draw near side, just outside the Canadian zone. Face off, won by the Senators. They dump it in the Canadian zone. Frostad throws that to the far side. West throws that up the boards. Martin going to make it back there first for the Senators. Puts it behind the boards. Round side. Turcotte steps in, cuts that off. Is jammed out to the neutral zone. West with it. Gets that to Frostad. Frostad back to West. Chipped in by Dollywall. Dollywall goes to chase on the far side. Martin gets there first. Dollywall steals it away. Tries to throw it in front to Zahara. That's knocked behind the net. Battle for it on the near side. Shigeru's going to pick that up for the Senators. Then there's that to Chambers. Chambers trying to come into the zone. He's knocked off the puck. Morris puts it back to the Senators zone. Knocked down by Martin. Martin quickly moves it up to Shigeru. Chambers couldn't receive it cleanly. Put from the far side by Chomi into the Canadian zone. We have an icing call with 14:51 left in the third period. The face-off will be the far side in the Senators zone. Taylor lining up against Babiak. Babiak wins it for the Senators. Gets it over to Bossy. Bossy sends that up the far side looking for Oliver. Trapped against the net. Turned over. Here's the Canadians coming towards the net. That is chopped down in the slot. Babiak flips that over to the near boards. Goes to chase in the Canadian zone. There's a shot. Probably on the outside, helped by Morris, and Black catches that and waits for the whistle to go, and we will have a face-off near side of the Canadian zone with 14:33 left in the third period. Taylor against Babiak again. This time Taylor gets the best of them. Duffett moves the puck to the far side to Burnett. That's turned around by number 8. Sent over the right side. Here's Babiak coming in. Chopped back. Treasure couldn't contain it. On the far side, Bossy dumps that in the Canadian zone. Morris with it for the Canadians. Looking for Burnett. Burnett, oh, it's a breakaway. Has Schufeld on his right. There's a shot. And Zedko makes the great save. Puck comes over the near side. Schufeld chips that behind the net. Over. Flips that down low. And the Senators goaltender is going to cover that up with 13:59 left in the third period. Face-off will be far side in the Senators zone. La Rochelle against Quach. Quach wins it for the Canadians, puts it back to the point for Ulrich. Ulrich, far side for Richard. Richard sends that down low, looking for Wells. He picks that up behind the net, flips it back to the far side to Richard. Richard up to Eagle. Eagle back to Richard, flips that down low for Wells. Wells comes over the near side, centers that. That's knocked back down against the near boards. Wells goes to chase, gets it back to the point for Ulrich. Ulrich flips that back to Wells. It skips past him. Martin picks it up, loses control of the stick. Wells with it, jams that into the slot. It's sent back to the point. Ulrich keeps that into the zone, though. And good move by Wells. Flips that to the length of the blue line where Eagle picks it up, drives it towards the net. Richard tried to chip that. It goes over to the near boards. Wells with it. Back to the point to Ulrich. Down to Wells. Centering pass looking for Richard. Quach tries to pick it up behind the net. It was taken away by number 9, who gets that back to the point. Ulrich keeps that in the zone. Martin picks it up for the Senators. He gets it to the far side. Senators put that off the boards all the way down the ice, right on to Black. And Black covers that up for the Canadians with 12:56 left in the third period. Both teams making wholesale changes. Chambers going to line up against Thorvaldson. Chambers wins that. Gets the puck back to Chome. Chome off the boards. That's cut off by Turcotte. Hoare completes the exit. Enrique Gomez coming up the left side. Hangs onto it. Looking for the trailer. Now he finds it. Sends it to the far side to Thorvaldson. Thorvaldson sends that down low. It's going to get past Hoare. Picked up on the near side by Perreault. He can't get very far. Canadians keep it in the zone. Battling for it in that near corner of the Senators' zone. Cut loose. Chome picks that up. Reverses back to the near side. Off the boards, looking for Doucette. That's kept in by Turcotte. Puck goes into the near corner of the Senators' zone. Enriquez Gomez picks it up. Short side, hangs onto it. Cycles over to the far corner. Put back to the point. Frostad rips that just wide. Comes off the end boards. Near side, Turcotte activates. Keeps it in the zone. Put down low. Perreault's going to pick that up. Enriquez Gomez actually got a piece of it. Oh, but following that up was Chambers. Chambers tries to go out the far side. Senators jam that to the neutral zone. Turcotte puts that up the near boards. Hoare skates onto it. Comes up the left wing. Stopped in the corner. Pushed down. Comes loose for the Senators. Coming out to center with it. Puck taken away by Turcotte. Chambers ends up getting it. Here comes up the right side. Low shot. Black with the save. And play will stop with 11:33 left in the third period. Draw will be near side in the Canadian zone. Babiak back on to take the draw this time against Zahara. Zahara wins that for Morris. Morris puts that down low for Frostad. Duffett, sorry. And the Senators get it back. They have it on the far side in front for Shapiro. Low shot wide of the net. Shapiro sends that back down low for Chambers, I think. Up the near side for Martin. Martin keeps that in. Down for Shapiro. Wanted to set that up to Coots for a one-timer. He whiffed on that, but on the far side, Bossy keeps that in. Babiak picks up the puck for the Senators. Flips that to the open ice. West picks that up for the Canadians. He's going to hang on to it. Stolen back by the Senators. Low shot by Babiak. Right down on the pads of Black, and Black is going to cover that one up with 10:50 to go in the third period. Faceoff will be far side in the Canadian zone. Taylor wins it, gets it over to Eagle. Eagle puts that off the glass, knocked down for Burnett. Burnett trying to chase it up. Beat there by number 15, McLean. Puck comes out to the neutral zone. Taylor near side for Schufelt. Schufelt dumps that into the Senators' zone. Perreault picks it up for Sherwood Park, goes to the far side. Eagle pitches in, keeps the puck in the zone. But now it's sent down where Ulrich picks it up in his own zone. Starts behind his own net. Pass to the near side to Schufelt. Schufelt chops that to the open side. Babiak's going to get that back for Sherwood Park. Sends that down low for Oliver. Skips past him. And Ulrich trying to put that off the glass, bumped while doing so, and the puck will go out of play with 10:08 to go in the third period. Richard ready to take the draw against La Rochelle. Rochelle wins that, but it's tipped forward by Wells. Puck bounces out to the neutral zone. Martin has to hustle back for it. Quach with some extra energy, chasing up him, but he moves it over to number 9. Number 9 comes back to the near side to Martin. Martin dumps that in the near side of the Canadian zone, picked up by Frostad. Frostad hard around the boards. That's cut in by number 9. Keeps the zone, sends it down low. Frostad picks it back up for the Canadians. Hangs onto it. Gets it over to Turcotte. Turcotte gets across center, dumps that into the far corner. Picked up by number 9 of the Senators. Gets that over to Martin. Picked up by number 16. Now it's sent to the far side. Here's Oliver coming in. Blocked with the save. Oliver picks up the rebound, sends that down low. Rolls over to the near side for Treasure. Treasure trying to get through Wells. Wells takes it away. Loose puck over to Frostad, who gets across center. Dumps that deep. Goes for a change. Zadko out. Sets it up for Bossy. Centering pass. It skips through the Canadians. Chip occurred, so icing waved off. Morris with it. Flips that back against the grain. La Rochelle's going to get that for the Senators. Back to the point for Perot. That's blocked in traffic by Enrique Gomez. Over to Thorvaldson. Thorvaldson coming into the Senators zone. Puck chopped off his stick. It comes to the near side. He gets it back, though. Thorvaldson hangs on. Low shot. Enrique Gomez in front. And it's chipped out of play. Great setup by the Canadian forwards there. And the puck will end up out of play and a face-off with 8:40 to go in the third period. Senators win the draw in their own zone. Bossy puts it around the near side. That's cut off by the Canadians. Put down low. Here's Enriquez Gomez trying to fight through traffic. Taken over by the Senators on the near side. Bossy with it. Over to Chambers. Chambers comes over to the near side. Tried to move into the middle. That was taken away. Thorvaldson over to Hoare. Hoare rushes it up. Right side to Duffett. Duffett coming in. Back to Hoare. Hoare fires that right onto Zadko. And Zadko will make the save. And the defenseman pushes, I think, Enrique Gomez onto his own goalie. To me, Enrique Gomez did his best to keep his skates, but ended it up tripping on to Zadko. Nothing coming from it. We'll have the face-off far side in the Senators zone. Senators get the puck out to the neutral zone. Ulrich back in his own zone. Cycles to the far side. Gets it out to West. West up to Zahara, up to Dollywell. And the Senators retrieve it in their zone, come up the ice with it. Number 9 just gets inside the zone and apparently offside, so the whistle goes with 7:43 left in the third period. The face-off will be just outside of the Canadian zone. Canadians win it. Eagle, near side for Ulrich, up to Dollywall, chips that into the Senator zone, goes to chase it. Senators Martin there first, cut off by Dollywall, thrown into the slot. On the wrong side for West. Puck comes into the neutral zone, chipped into the Canadian zone now. Ulrich back for it, throws it to the outside to West. West takes a check. That was enough to get a penalty. Ulrich coming up the ice, right side to Dollywall. Night empty for the Canadians, getting the extra attacker on. West with a rip on net. And Zadko with the save. Hanging on with 7:10 to go in the third period. 2-minute charging penalty being issued to number 19, Babiak, for the Senators. Called with 7:10 left in the third period. Puts the Canadians on the power play. Senators win the draw. Taking it into the corner is Perot. Bounces that out to the neutral zone. Frostad over to Hoare. Back to Frostad. He's going to cycle over to the near side. Sends the puck over to Hoare. Hoare hangs onto it. Moves it up to Thorvaldson. Thorvaldson whips on the pass to Frostad. Stolen by Chambers. Chance on the left side by Perrin. Perrin with the puck chopped off his stick. Picked up by Thorvaldson on the near side. Perrin knocks it down. This is a great kill by the Senators. Now Hoare moves it out to the neutral zone, but the Senators, Chambers gets it back. You could see Coach on the bench had enough. Pulls this line off. Frostad moving over the near side. Thorvaldson puts that off the backside of Frostad. This is the messy shift for this penalty, PP1. Here's Enriquez Gomez. Back to the point to Morris. Morris takes a shot. That hits the stick, goes to the far corner. West jumps on it. Down low from Enriquez Gomez. Up to West. West lets that go for West. But it was intercepted by Chambers. Chambers heading down the ice with it. Coming up the left side. Moves inside Eagle, but he flips it back. Swipes the puck off his stick. Held in the zone by Oliver. Oliver comes up in the near side. Puck stripped by Morris. Morris with it. Wanted to move it up to Enriquez Gomez. Stopped by Martin. Morris with the puck. Over to Enriquez Gomez on the near side. Richard with it. Richard looking for West. Couldn't get the puck over to him. Richard takes it into the corner. Now the Canadians can set up with 20 seconds left in their power play. Enriquez Gomez moving to the far side. Over to West. West around the boards to Morris. Morris receives the puck. Our Senators steal it back. Put it down the ice. Oliver finds that in the near corner. Centers that. That's broken up by West. And the Senators did a great job killing off of that penalty. Canadians didn't look threatening at all. Eagle centering that. Looking for Enriquez Gomez. That's taken away by number 18, Treasure. Put down the ice. Turcotte moves that back to the far side. Schufelt takes that in the near boards. Taylor up to Schufelt. And out to center. Puck chopped back in the Canadian zone where Turcotte picks it up. Gets that up to Schufelt. Schufelt ships that into the center zone. Goes to chase it. Perot there first. Moves to the far side to number 9. Broken up by Burnett. Number 9 gets it back. Broken up by Taylor, only for a second, but the puck comes out to the neutral zone where Frostad takes that away. Over to Turcotte. Chipped forward by Burnett. Goes to that far corner where 9 picks it up. Cut off by the Canadians. Walking it in is Frostad. He hangs on. Thrown into the slot. Broken up by the Senators. Here's La Rochelle. Heading up. Breakaway for Oliver. Low on Black. He makes the save. Canadians get that out to the neutral zone. Here's Martin. Waits for his team to take up. Comes in fast. Over to La Rochelle. That's blocked by Frostad. No, it comes on to Black. I didn't see that. And Black takes that in the crest and hangs on with 3:43 left in the third period. Face off near side in the Canadian zone. Puck's dropped. Canadians come away with it. Dollywall right side to West. West heading down the ice. Tries to move inside of Bossy. He takes him into the boards. Dollywall comes away with it. There's a shot high off the mark. West picks up the puck for the Canadians. Moves that down low to Dollywall. Comes loose. Bossy's going to clean that up for the Senators. Puts it to the far side. Picked up by Coots. Coots flips that off the glass. Kept in the zone by the Canadians. Duff it. Throws that around the far side to Zahara. Zahara put into the boards by Martin. Senators going to take the puck, throw it down the ice. We'll have an icing call here with 3 minutes to go in the third period. Face off near side in the Senators zone. Canadians out in front of the Senators 2-0 late in the third period. Richard set to take the draw against, I think that is Babiak, and Babiak walks away with it, comes up the ice, left side, looking for Dessert. Dessert takes that in the corner. Moves that down to Chambers. Loose in the corner. Richard picks it up for the Canadians. Eagle chips it free. And swept back to the blue line by Quach. Senators keep the zone though. Here's a chance. That shot. Blocker saved by Black. Puck over to the near side. Chome puts that down low. Sharp angle by Chambers. First side. Babiak couldn't get a handle on it. Chambers puts that back to the point. Chome with a shot. That's kicked to the far corner by Richard. But back to the point. Shot by Perot. Puts that on the near corner. Ulrich puts that down the ice. Here's Wells coming in. Comes to his backhand. Wells, low shot. Saved by Zadko. Affiliates doing a great job for the Canadians in this game. Oh, here comes Babiak back the other way. Comes to the right side. Rostad forced him to the outside. And Black finishes the defensive stand with a glove save. Stopping play with 1:50 to go in the third period. Timeout called by the Sherwood Park Senators. And we'll have a brief pause here. Teams breaking from their huddles. We're going to have the draw near side in the Canadian zone. Senators looking for some push off of that timeout. Their net is empty. Got the extra attacker on for the draw. Canadians win it. Here's Frostad. He's going to put that down the ice right on, and that is a goal from behind the goal line. Max Frostad with deadly accuracy puts the Canadians up 3-0 and likely the game out of reach for the Senators. Face off at center. Canadians win it. Enrique Gomez trying to drive it in. Shot. And that is blocked by Zadko. He had the post sealed off. Or steals it back for the Canadians. Ooh, Senators take away that centering pass. Thorvaldson catches up to his man. Puts it down to Enrique Gomez. Enrique Gomez hanging on. Puts it back to Eagle at the left point. Goes right in front. Wanted to move to Thorvaldson, I think, for the tip. Enrique Gomez receives the puck on the boards. Come off of it. Tried to drive it in. Comes back to the point where Frostad keeps that in the Senators' zone. 1 minute to go in the third period. Eagle fires one wide. Comes up the corner to the far side. Oliver puts that out to center where Frostad knocks it down. Frostad looking for Thorvaldson. Skips past him. Knocked down by Martin. Martin hands that off to Perot. Perot off the boards down into the Canadian zone. We have an icing call with 43 seconds to go in the third period. Face off far side in the Senators zone. Senators chop that to the line. Morris keeps that in. Knocked down by Chambers. Gets that out to center again. Broken up by Duffett. Duffett up to Dollywall. Senators get it back in their own zone. Quickly up to Babiak. Babiak comes into the Canadian zone. Blocker saved by Black. 23 seconds to go in the period. Morris puts that off the glass. Knocked down at the line. Comes over to the near side. Held in by number 9. There's a shot. Black with the save. Gets an early whistle, but he had that covered up anyways. Face-off will be near side in the Canadian zone with 12 seconds to go in the game. Put up the near boards, back to the line. 9 keeps that in, sends that down low. Babiak with it. Swept to the far side. Canadians put that back to the line. There's a shot in front, tipped over to the near side. And the Canadians take this one from Sherwood Park, the host team. 3-0. Canadians have a rough Friday night. They make up for it on Saturday. They improve their record to 2-1 in the tournament and put themselves in an excellent position tomorrow. Next game will be at 10:45 tomorrow morning against the CAC Blues or Bridge City Blues right here in Shell Arena in Sherwood Park. Working the camera this afternoon was Greg Eagle. Thank you very much for your help, sir. But yeah, and a shutout for Bauer. Indeed. He had a lot of help from his D, but a well-earned shutout nonetheless. Of course, I'm hard on my own kid. Thanks for tuning in, folks. It's been a pleasure. We will be back on the air tomorrow at 10:45, where CAC United Sport and Cycle Canadians will take on the CAC Blues. Have a great day, everyone.